What's going on, people? This is London Boy Podcast. This is your boy, London Boy, aka Vinny. I'm back again with my mate, my good mate, David. David, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. What about yourself?
Yeah, all good, man. And yeah, the last podcast we did was about financial freedom. That was quite a serious podcast to say the least, especially considering, you're considering life choices and career and money. Money is always like an awkward conversation, most people at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, it can be an awkward conversation, and I want to say as well, we're not financial
Not
advisors.
financial advisor.
Um,
But
I know I
literally,
said in the, I know I said in the last podcast to invest in a company called IAG,
mm,
IAG.
no,
Um,
no,
uh,
no paid promo out here. You're just literally saying what you've done, innit?
I just said what I done because
Yeah.
I just use my
Yeah.
own logic, and if people agree with my logic, then cool,
And
whatever.
that,
But you have to.
and that's literally with everything I put out there. Anything we do together is literally based on personal experience, what we've done, and the opinions and perspectives we form from those events. People like it's your choice to agree with it. At the end of the day, an opinion is an opinion. It's not that deep. So this episode will be a lot less serious. We're going to talk about our holiday in New York back in 2019 July.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was one of the best holidays I've ever had, to say the least. Like, do you wanna give your 2 cents about it?
Uh, It was okay. Two sentences. It was
Two
an
cents.
adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, two.
No,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was an
All right, go on then.
adventure.
Give 2 sentences and go on then.
It was an adventure, and American girls love British accents.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, what were your like favorite highlights from the holiday? Give me a top five, and I'll give the people my top five as well.
Okay. So first of all, I got we technically wasn't in New York when this happened, right?
Okay.
This is a funny story. I think you're okay with putting out
Yeah,
because
yeah.
technically,
Go for it.
so when we was going on to the actual airplane, right? Vinny got stopped by the security, literally as the gate was opening up, right?
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
stopped because, let's say you was doing some stuff the night before,
No, it
and
wasn't even that. I think. No, 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 no. I think. No, tell them what I was wearing or how I was dressed.
okay, so
Uh,
so yeah, I think you had that LV bag, yeah,
yeah.
a Louis Vuitton bag, and you had your. I think did you have your Giuseppe's on?
Yeah, I was literally dressed to impress. To be honest, bro,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
not,
So you
not,
had
not without sounding all whoop, whoop. I was basically dressed like a pretty much like a drug dealer. Uh,
yeah, ex successful drug dealer, by the way.
yeah. So anyway, tell them what happened.
So yeah, he had his LV bag, the one that you sort of put over your shoulder and it's sort of like on your hip or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's called a satchel, actually, the type of bag.
Yeah, like a
And
man bag. No, it wasn't even a man bag. It was like a letter man. You know what I mean. You know them leather LV bags that men wear.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I went past the security people. I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Uh, Surprising. And then with Vinny, he got pulled over to one side and they went through his bag and they thought he's going to be like a drug dealer, but there's literally nothing in it and they let him go. But he was shitting himself like a little
No, no,
bit.
no, but bro. Tell them. How many people were queuing up to get on the plane?
There was a couple,
It was about
like
100
nearly a
people.
hundred.
About
A
100
hundred.
out of a queue of 100 people. They pull me out of the queue, bro.
Yeah, I think he was the only person getting pulled over as well.
Yeah.
So, which is quite interesting.
And the thing about that was it wasn't. It wasn't because I was shitting it because I was gonna get arrested, because I knew I didn't do anything wrong. But I was
Yeah,
scared if they were gonna waste my time and I was gonna end up missing the flight.
yeah. So that was it was a little bit peak for like 10 seconds, and then it was fine. So
All right, tell them the second favorite moment of yours.
okay, so I'd say the beer garden. So the beer garden, I guess it's going to be on your favorites as well.
Mm,
But there's a famous beer garden in Queens, New
Astoria.
York.
Yeah,
A store to be exact.
and it's called Bohemian Beer Garden for the people that want to know.
Yeah, so this beer garden is in like GTA 4. I guess it's been in films as well
Mm,
because I don't know, but it's a famous beer garden.
yeah.
And the Friday night, we got back from an amazing meal with Vincenzo's side of the family and his cousin,
Mm.
and yeah, we just had an amazing night. Um, a little bit, like a little bit of drama for me. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
we'll explain that later on.
Mm.
Yeah, and then okay, my third one. I say my third one is when. Do you remember the Guggenheim Museum?
Oh, the one with the silly drawings, with no, I wouldn't say silly, but strange drawings.
We'll say very strange.
Very strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if we can swear and be explicit on
No, I just
YouTube.
say there was a lot of naked pictures. A lot of naked pictures.
Yeah, and also the
Mm.
time that we went, we didn't realize, but it was Gay Pride in New York. So
Mm.
there's a lot of like, there's a lot of like gayness going on in the.
Yeah, careful, careful.
Well,
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with that. The
Yeah,
gay people are fine; they do their own thing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
there was a lot of gayness in the pictures and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh, this is quite interesting,
Mm.
in a bizarre way. So I thought that was quite weird and bizarre and interesting. I'd say the fourth one is when we had a meal with. This is on the Friday night with Vincenzo's family. Um,
So is this the
it was
same night as the Big Garden? Yeah.
yeah, this is the same night
Oh.
as the big. Honestly, it was A1. Like that
Mm.
day was just like it couldn't get any better. It couldn't get any better. That's like the best Friday I've ever had.
Mm.
Um, and then I'd say my fifth one. I'd say my fifth one is probably I did like going on the Statue of Liberty,
On the boat tour.
the boat, yeah, the
Yeah.
boat tour, because there was a funny like Jamaican lady like
Yeah.
doing the commentary, and she was just making me and Vinny laugh like loads, you know.
Yeah,
So
she's like, we're going on with the step. I can't even make a Jamaican accent, but he was like, okay, but this is the statue was from the French. Blah blah blah. That shit was funny, man. That was funny.
yeah, yeah, you just have to be there to experience. So yeah, I'll say that's my five favorite things about New York.
Cool. So my top five favorites are obviously that meal we had. No, actually,
Yes.
yeah, actually, I like my first spot would probably go to when we got off the plane. Just getting off the plane in New York, and I see my cousin. I haven't seen him in about 10 years. It was
Hmm.
and you're in a completely different continent. This is my first time out of Europe, so it was a pretty surreal moment to say the least.
And also, technically, we was by ourselves, you know, like we wasn't like with family, with friends. Well, we was meeting up with your side of the family, but
Mm. We
it was
literally,
independent.
yeah, we thought one day we're gonna get on the plane, we're gonna go to another side of the world, and we did it. Just
Yeah,
just when we landed at New York, I was like, shit, like we really done this. We're in a completely different land. Everyone here
yeah.
has an accent, you know. Everyone everyone here is different. Obviously there's parallels to London, but they were different, and it was crazy, and I loved it, man. I loved, when we went. when we sat down to watch TV in my cousin's house, all of the programs were in American. You know, you could just tell, yep, this is America.
Mm.
You know, hold on
Yeah.
one sec.
We're professional podcasters, by the way, everyone, just to let you know.
What's happening? Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
my second favorite moment was probably yeah, the 4th of July weekend.
yes, yeah, yeah.
So the 4th of July weekend, we literally what happened? Like my cousin, he was hosting like a barbecue
Mm.
in his garden, and yeah, we met. He's got tenants that live in an apartment upstairs to his sort of. You know, I think he owns a building. Would you call it a house or a building?
It's a house.
It's a house, but the way it's structured, he's got an apartment upstairs where he's got tenants. They obviously we all came together. We in his congregated in his garden. It was good vibes. It was good meeting people from other walks of life. I made good friends with Roy. Shout out Roy if you're listening. Follow each other on Instagram, and it was pretty interesting to say the least, you know. And it wasn't even the food. It was just it was just a vibe, you know. I'm a fan of good vibes, you know.
Yeah, I'd say one thing, the difference between sort of like Americans and British is Americans have sort of a really sort of like positive, sort of like, I'm not saying British people aren't, but I'm just saying like Americans is always sort of like vibrant and,
They're very
uh,
vibrant vibe, energy. So they've got a really good energy, man. That's why I love a lot of Americans. Obviously, there's good and bad in every culture, but as a collective, I got probably nothing but positive vibes. 80% of the holiday was positive vibes from the people that I met.
yeah,
You know. Yeah, so that was my second. My third was obviously when the day after that. This is all in one day, but they're two different highlights. So the third, I'd say we went to that restaurant with my family. This is on your top five. We went to this Egyptian restaurant called Kebab Cafe, and obviously the chef that was serving us, it was he said he wrote a book of Jamie Oliver, or I think he obviously trained each other when Jamie Oliver was living in America, and literally that a restaurant. It wasn't just the food. It was an experience, you know.
yeah. The restaurant, the best way to describe the restaurant, imagine a tiny room
Mm.
with random stuff from all over New York, and
And like Egyptian
but the atmosphere,
ornaments, paintings, and that.
yeah, yeah. Like if you walked past on the street, you'd think, oh, it's just some little takeaway place, right?
Mm.
But when you actually walked into it and actually spoke to the guy and then tasted the food, it was
Mm.
out of the world.
And honestly, and the thing that I loved about that restaurant was it's got no menu. The guy,
Yeah,
literally, the chef Ali, he comes up to you, he's like, "Oh, you're right, people. Honestly, very lovely person, very talkative person, positive. Yeah, this is what's on the menu. Let me just serve you up the starter. Let me serve you up the main and the dessert. Honestly, honestly, it was the food was out of this world, you know.
yeah. I don't think many people have been to a restaurant where you don't get a menu.
Yeah,
So,
honestly, and yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, and I loved it. And yeah, it was literally we got she served from a Michelin star chef, you know.
yeah, so this guy was certified. He basically taught Jamie Oliver when he was in New York. Um,
And
he
what,
was
mm,
he was an,
yeah, and what I like about this guy compared to traditional restaurants that you get a lot in the UK. Usually in the UK, you know, you sit down. There's a very you know, you feel like there's barriers. Like you gotta sit down, you gotta wait for the waiter to come, you gotta tell him what you want. And the food goes to the kitchen, gets cooked. You don't know what's happening in the kitchen. Not to say that they're doing shit in the kitchen. This guy, he's the accommodator, he's the waiter, he's the chef, and he's pretty much your friend as well, you know, because I felt like I was talking to a friend. I didn't feel like I was doing like a business transaction like most restaurants you get in the UK.
Yeah, to best describe his restaurant, it's more like walking into someone's apartment. That's
Yeah,
the
pretty much.
best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's like 10 out of 10 hospitality is what
Yeah.
the experience. And after that restaurant, it leads transitions onto my fourth highlight of the holiday, which was the Bohemian Beer Garden. Obviously, the Beer Garden, you can go there in GTA 4 as Nico Bellic to play darts, and it's crazy, and have drinks with your friends in that game. But anyway, that Beer Garden, man, we went there on a night where there was a silent disco, and yeah, I took videos of that event. And yeah, looking at it from the outside, and you think, "Oh, silent disco, that's weird." But if you was actually there, you was listening to the music. Oh my god, man, it was vibes. Trust me, like it was proper good vibes. And the people that you met, yeah, you attracted a lot of females, man.
Hey, don't bait me out.
Yeah.
Don't bait.
No, but
But
obviously
yeah,
we met
there
a
was
lot of
there was a lot, there was a lot of females over there. Let's
yeah.
just say that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we met a lot of girls. It was good, we had fun. Obviously, the time of our lives, and then obviously you had a little hiccup. Like, I don't know if you'd want me to share it or not.
No, go on, share
Yeah.
it. It's funny.
All right, guys. Honestly, I don't care. I'm gonna say how it is, man. Like, we were chilling, we were having a good time. Like, I basically pulled a girl. We were started chatting, and then so this girl comes up. Basically, this girl, she was with work colleagues, yeah. Because of the fact that she was with work colleagues, she was like, oh, I can't really do much. I've got to keep up appearances and all that sort of stuff. So the minute the work colleagues left, she just came up to me out of the blue. And she was like, oh, my colleagues have gone. I can let loose now. And I was like, oh
Ooh.
shit. So yeah,
Ooh.
we were dancing and all that, and we got to it like lips and like kissing and all that sort of stuff, yeah. And then the minute I'm getting my groove on, this guy, and I'm talking about you, bruv, you come up to me like while I'm trying to get my groove on, saying to me, "Oh, Vinny, let's beef, let's go beat this guy up." And I'm thinking like, what the hell are you talking about? Let's go beat this guy up. And then
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh no, some guy started on me. Some guy started on me." And obviously, I didn't know what was going on. So half of me, I didn't want to let this opportunity go, and the other half of me, I was sort of playing it smart. I said to you, "Oh, stay around me. If he comes up to us and we smack him up, we beat him up, and that's self-defense. But
Hmm.
if we go up to him, we're in a completely different continent. We could get done for assault, and I don't think American prisons are the most friendly."
Yeah, we don't want to be in fucking Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, man. So
I
because
don't
you,
think we would. I don't think we would, but yeah, I'm
yeah,
just joking.
but obviously you listen. No, like you went up to him, and he was like, you basically said to him, was like, "Oh, listen, like don't fucking touch me," basically, and the guy
Go
saw.
on, say the sentence. Say the proper sentence.
Okay,
Go on.
okay. So let's break the ice for the listeners. You're not you're not the most hardcore drinker, are you?
No, I'm quite lightweight.
You're quite a lightweight, and you was fucked out of your face that night, yeah.
Yes, I
And
was. Yeah.
you went up to the guy, and because you were so drunk, your eyes were rolling back. And as soon as you went up to him, I was like, oh my god! So I had to run. I had to run after you. So you went up to him, just like squared up to his face, and you was like, listen, yeah, don't fucking touch me though, yeah, like with your eyes rolling back. So the guy looked at you, he saw what was going on, and he looked at the floor, and then he turned around and he thought, fuck that, I'm out of here. And it was the
Yeah.
funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I went up to this guy was
Yeah,
because um, First of all, the dance floor was packed full of people. Imagine just every single inch of this dance floor was just full
Mm,
of people. Um, and because I was drinking quite a lot, I needed to go to the toilet.
yeah,
So I went to the bathroom, but I had to go through everyone.
mm,
And whilst I was going through everyone, I sort of like not barging people out of the way, but just sort of pushing my way through, basically.
yeah.
And this guy thought I was touching up his girl, even though I was just trying to get through. So
Mm,
he grabbed my wrist and scratched my arm.
mm,
And I just looked at my arm and I was just like, what the fuck did you just do? And then I was like, okay, I need to go piss, yeah, in my head. So I was like, okay, let me go quickly take a piss, yeah. And
mm,
then because I was very, very drunk and I didn't realize, well, I knew I was in a fucking different country, but let's say you get a bit more brave when you're drunk.
yeah.
I went up to the guy and I said, listen, yeah, don't
But this is
fucking
after you
touch
came up
me.
to me, though.
And that's after I came up to
It is
you.
after you
And
came up
then,
to me.
yeah, and then I was like, listen, yeah, don't fucking touch me though, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Honestly,
the guy and his girlfriend left after that. So
yeah. And the thing about that moment, I know the listeners might think nothing of it, but honestly, I've been dragging that meme on for over a year now. It's just been an ongoing joke.
yeah, every single time we have like a call, he's always like, listen though, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, people might not find it funny, but it's one of them situations that you have to actually experience it to understand the gravity of it, you know?
Yeah, I'm not the best person when it comes to sort of alcohol. I can't really control myself. So,
Yeah.
um,
All
yeah.
right, cool. So that's the fourth moment. And so the fifth moment, I'd probably say, is the last day when we went to Coney Island.
Well, yes, yes, yeah.
So he basically, you know, the game. The thing I love about America is that they made so many video games
Hmm.
set in it. So Coney Island is basically where the Warriors are set. It's obviously made by Grand Theft Auto Rockstar Games, and it's basically set in Coney Island, and you know where there's like merry-go-rounds and there's rides, and it's right by it's a seaside basically, right on the beach. And so obviously Coney Island is in Brooklyn, isn't it? So, but it's all
Hmm.
the way at the end of Brooklyn. We literally spent about an hour on the subway just to get there. And honestly, when we went
Yeah.
there, there was like beach, there was rides. You know, like we could get beer, you could get corn dog, you could get a hot dog. It was absolutely lovely, you know. And then
Yeah. That's everything.
yeah, we were queuing up. Now, I don't think you're a fan of rides. I queued up to get on a ride, and yeah, so it was pretty good. It was pretty funny. Yeah,
Let's talk about the ride a little bit more, okay?
yeah.
Uh, so, do you want to go through it, or do you want
Uh,
me to go through?
you start and I'll continue, bro.
Okay, so I didn't want to go on the ride because I was sort of like not feeling it, and I was kind of sort of a bit weighed from the night before.
Yeah.
So um, I just sort of sat out and sort of just waited for him, and I thought, okay, I can sort of video the experience for him. Um,
Mm.
and whilst waiting, I saw him in the queue chatting up some little brunette, yeah. And I thought, oh my G is making moves on every single girl, yeah, every single day. Like
You
I was
make
just
me sound
rating.
like some fucking, you know what I mean?
You're not some molester, like,
No, I mean like you make me sound like some fuckboy. No fuckboy thing. It's just a thing where like you're in another country. You feel positive, innit? The best way to
yeah.
feel, you want to make friends. You want to talk to people. That's the mindset I was in, you know.
And also, by the way, this girl was British as well. So
Yeah,
he was just making friendly conversation, basically.
exactly. And for those that want to know the reason why, obviously my sort of excuse to talk to her and the reason why I spoke to her was because obviously we were in the summer. I was wearing shorts and I didn't have any zips for my wallet. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
And obviously, because we were getting on the ride together, I said to this young lady, I was like, "Listen, can you put my wallet in your pocket?" She was wearing like jeans, like tight jeans. Like, put my wallet in your pocket, and when we get off, could you give it back to me? Because obviously, I don't want to put my wallet in my shorts. When we get on a
Yeah.
ride, my bloody wallet's gonna fly out the shorts, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's a level of trust, isn't it? Like that's how you move to a girl. Just give her your wallet, and you got the number.
Yeah,
That's what most girls do. To be honest, if you think about it, they just take your wallet and fucking spend it. I'm joking. I'm joking.
joker, joker. Yeah, but no, but it went from "Can you do me this favor" to actually busting a decent conversation. And
Yeah.
then when we got off the ride, you just got to know her. It's like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm an actress. I'm here to be an actress and all that. I do film shoots. Obviously no porn shit. Obviously actual, actual acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was decent. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna try and get the number. And then you come out of the blue. You're like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And then I just got this memory of this girl that was with her saying, excuse me, we need to go, we need to go. And I was
Oh,
like,
they're bitch. Yeah.
fucking cock block, bro. And then
Yeah.
and when she was doing that, I said, I was mad. And I was like, listen, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that kind of bottled it though. And then yeah, we were just in obviously Coney Island. It was a good experience. And then I remember going to a gift shop because I wanted to buy a key ring and a hoodie. And you
yeah.
obviously, and then I just see you chatting to three other girls. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here?
Okay. All right. I was actually buying a towel for my mum.
Mm,
Okay. I was being a good little boy. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, no. There's some girls preying me up. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a move. I was in the same sort of mood that Vinny was with in a different country. Might as well try.
mm,
And this girl, I think she was like a fashion designer. I
mm.
can't remember, or like a
From
trainee.
Texas.
Yeah, and she was
Yeah,
from Texas. So
Texas.
when I said
Yeah.
hello in my British accent, she just instantly fucking fell in love with me. It was kind of weird. But yeah, she just got addicted. And then we exchanged of like Instagram and all of this stuff. And we ended up finding out that she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I was
Boyfriend.
like, yeah, she had a
Yeah.
boyfriend for like a long time as well, like a few years. So
Mm.
this girl was preparing to cheat just because I said hello in a British accent. Uh,
Yeah, man. And for anyone listening, like, we're not saying that all girls are like that. We're just saying that from what we've seen, like we've seen girls do that. It's just a bit questionable about, like, you know what I mean? Like, how can you do that to your boyfriend? You know,
just because a foreign guy,
just because a
just because
foreign
a
guy,
foreign guy.
yeah, just because a foreign guy says hello to in a British accent, that's not an excuse to cheat. You know,
Yeah. So,
but
but yeah, nothing really happened with that Texas girl, to be honest. So
mm,
yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing did happen actually. But
but
yeah,
yeah,
no, there's
no,
future
carry
plans.
on, carry on.
Well, I was gonna say one scenario, right?
Mm.
Uh, I was also a little bit tipsy.
What in
So
Coney
we was
Island?
coming. No, so this is another night in New York.
Mm.
So what ended up happening was we was coming back from I think Brooklyn at the time, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and there was some girls who said there was dancers.
Oh, we were in the subway. We were in the subway.
Yeah, so when they meant dancers, they meant strippers basically.
No, like
And
showgirls. I think they were like showgirls, like the ones you get in Las Vegas.
yeah, but kind of some like strippers and probably did stuff. But anyway,
Mm.
um, there was from California and they was asking us like how do you use the subway? Like we're both sort of like brand new to sort of like the area at the time.
Mm. I think
And
they were asking us for directions, and we said, "Listen, we know just as much as you. We're from the UK, you know."
yeah, and yeah.
And then they asked
Anyway,
you, they said to you, "Yeah, but how do you navigate the subway?"
and me being stupid at the time, I wasn't really stupid. I was just kind of sort of like, "Fuck it, I don't really care." I said I use my brain,
But the way
and
you
these
said
guys.
it, you was like, "I use my brain."
Okay, I said it in a bit of an aggressive. I wasn't that aggressive. I was
You
kind of
said
sort of
it
just,
very bluntly, like, very bluntly.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I just said I use my brain, and let's say they just walked away from
No,
us.
no, no,
So,
but before they honestly, before they walked away, like, look, the facial expression, like
yeah,
they both looked at each other, like
so like, what the
shocked as hell,
fuck?
and then just
The British guys are so rude.
and then just walked off, bro. They just went about their day after, you know.
Yeah, we probably fucked up their mentality on how like British people are, you know.
Mm.
Well, I did anyway. Yeah.
But
But
yeah, that
yeah,
was funny.
the other nights were just pure bliss, you know.
Yeah, pure
Uh,
bliss. I'd say let's talk about the downsides. No, I wouldn't say down because there was no downsides really. But let's talk about the least favorite parts. I'm gonna start by saying, you see all the touristy stuff that you see people post on Instagram, like Times Square, Empire State. Yeah, Empire State Building. That was good. We went there on the first day. I enjoyed it, but everything about Times Square literally felt like a bigger version of Central London. So I didn't think that was sort of shit, but I thought, there's nothing new here, you know.
yeah, it's kind of it's the best way to describe it is like London 2.0. Especially when it's
London, but this is not New York as a whole. This is just describing Times Square, the central part.
yeah. So this is
Right.
just describing Times Square. It's like the best way to describe it is like uh central London or like outside like Buckingham Palace or like London Eye areas, kind of sort of like all the touristy stuff where normal London citizens don't go,
Yeah.
basically. Um, so it's just a tourist hotspot, and it wasn't really that good. It was good to take pictures, but it wasn't really good to like do stuff in.
Yeah, and I mean, and if the guys have noticed, our top five moments, they weren't touristy at all. They were mainly moments that involved people and
Yeah.
vibes. You know, it was all about the vibes for me. I don't really care about all that touristy stuff. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I remember one scenario where I was on the subway and well, I don't think she was homeless, but kind of looked homeless, came up to us, or she was sitting opposite us actually, and she was talking to us and saying like, oh, how everyone on the subway is on their phone and they don't have a
Oh,
conversation.
I remember that. That was
It was
coming back
literally,
from Coney Island.
yeah, it was literally just having a conversation with her and sort of about life and
Yeah, she was
just
from
such.
Detroit. Detroit.
Yeah, she's from Detroit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's the thing that goes to show, man. There's a lot of friendly people out there in New York, man. Just Americans in general. I just think they're very friendly people for the most part, and they have a more positive outlook on life as opposed to us British people. No disrespect to British people, but you know, like it's good to live life with a positive outlook, in my opinion.
Yeah, like all the people that we spoke to, like even when we was queuing up in stores, like
Yeah.
I think it was it wasn't CVS. It's TQ
TK Maxx.
TK Maxx.
But they call it the American version is TJ Maxx.
Yeah, so they call
Yeah,
it TJ Maxx for TK Maxx.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
was in TJ Maxx. Sorry, I keep
Mm.
getting confused. And we was just minding our own business, and then two people in front of us said, like, "Oh, you're from the UK?" Like, "Oh, my dad's from the UK." And we just ended up having a conversation with loads of different people from all over New York, and it was
Mm.
lovely.
Honestly, and you don't. To be honest with you guys, like you don't really get that in London. Like if you go to London, honestly, maybe because I've lived there all my life. Like, when I go to London, I do all I can to avoid being robbed or assaulted. You know,
Well, okay, not all of London's like that, but
but
some areas, yeah.
even if you go,
People in London aren't as friendly as people in New York.
yeah, exactly. Even if you go to the nice areas of London, if you go to South Bank or you go to Oxford Street, you're not gonna get people stopping you, having a conversation with you. How was your day? Where are you from? Hell no, you're not gonna get that at all. You know,
Yeah, people are a lot more cutthroat. Okay.
in London, people are a lot more reserved. It's almost like a survival mechanism. You know, to live in the big city.
Hmm.
But but yeah, all in all, like what would you rate New York out of 10 as a holiday?
I'll say like a 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
And would you recommend it to people, say people that haven't traveled and they want to go somewhere? Would you recommend it and would you tell them, yeah, go to flight, or would you tell them look at other places first before you pick to go to New York?
I'd say, first of all, don't go. You can go to Manhattan,
Yeah.
but it's not the only place in New York. There's Queens, there's Brooklyn. You can go to the Bronx if you want to.
Okay.
And you can even go outside of New York as well. So New York is actually a state.
Yeah.
You can New Jersey, for
Yeah, like
example.
we went to New Jersey. We got that little experience under our belt.
Yeah, so we actually technically went into two states
Mm,
whilst there. Um, the more you explore, the better. So just don't stick to one area. And to be honest, Manhattan's cool for the pictures and stuff like
mm.
that. But if you want to experience the real New York, experience real New York food, real New York people, you got to go to Queens or Brooklyn.
Go Queens of Brooklyn, and yeah, we're not setting anyone up to go to ghetto or anything like no, hell no. It's just literally what we're saying is don't fall for the touristy traps. There's much more to New York than the touristy stuff you see online.
It's exactly the same with London as well. A lot of people think London's just tea and crumpets,
Mm,
red buses, guys in funny big black furry hats.
mm,
It's not. It's
it's
not.
not at all.
London is completely. There's loads of different cultures in London, and it's the same with New York as well. There's hundreds of different cultures.
Yeah, and it was weird because obviously in London you get a mixed bag of different cultures. And in New York, I saw exactly the same cultures you see in London, but in New York it was crazy. And but the only difference is New York, obviously, as it's America, it has a very dense population of Latin American people.
Oh yes, the Latin American people. What can I say? They're beautiful,
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. We met a few nice Latin American ladies out there. You
I,
wanna tell
I don't.
that experience with the 36-year-old?
Okay, all right, fuck it. I don't care. Um, I don't think 36 too old, but anyway, this
Yeah.
woman was. I reckon she was an 8 out of 10 for me,
But
even
what?
though she was a bit
So
older. She was
where
like
was it
8.
at? It was in the beer garden, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this was in the beer garden, and I saw her. She had the blue dress on, and she was by herself. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go over and chat with her. And at the time, Vinny was in the toilet.
No, I went to the bar to get the drinks.
Oh yeah, you went to
Yeah.
the bar to get a drink. Sorry, I
Hmm.
apologize. And I was just thought, you know what? I'm gonna go and chat her up, and I did it in like 10 seconds. I chatted her up and invited her over. Got chatting with each other.
Mm.
And yeah, she was. At first, I thought, oh yeah, this girl's like 28. Yeah, she looked about 28, 26 at
About
first.
26, I'd say.
Yeah. And then when she said like, oh, 38, I was like, oh my God, like, no way you look 38. But I didn't want to say that to her. I didn't want to say like, oh, we're like proper young. So
Mm.
I just kind of sort of carried on the conversation without actually stating my age at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was saying some stuff to me, and because I was sitting next to her, and then Vinny came over, and he was sitting on the opposite side of the bench.
Mm.
It's like a traditional sort of picnic bench,
Mm.
and yeah, she was getting a little bit touchy feely, and nailed me to get a bit touchy feely.
Mm.
What to say, and then it kind of fucked up at the end, to be honest.
Why?
Yeah,
What happened?
you can explain this part.
Yeah. So obviously I come over and I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, oh shit. So anyway, we were talking and it just seemed like we had a lot in common. And
Hmm.
we were talking a lot about like personal development, a lot about business stuff. And I sort of took the mojo away from you a bit, like unintentionally. And then it went from a thing where she wanted to move to you and stuff, and then it turned into a thing of you were just talking about, just regular stuff,
Yeah, yeah. The funny thing is, yeah, I remember she said she had, I think, like 20 siblings or something like that.
Wow.
Like something ridiculous. And I said, like, oh, your parents love to fuck then? And she said, yes, us Puerto Ricans love to fuck. And I was just like, oh, nice
Jesus.
to know.
Guys, people listening, I wasn't there. So this happened when I went to get the drinks, and I mean, I didn't experience that, and I don't want no part in that disgusting behavior.
Hey,
Yeah,
shut up.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about,
Mm,
let's go back to flying to New York, actually.
okay, okay.
So when me and Vinny was going to New York, we bought a bottle of Grey
Grey
Goose.
Goose, and it weren't no 1 liter bottle. It was literally about a quarter bottle, I'd say, of Grey Goose. No,
Yeah, so
we just
imagine
bought in
just a normal
customers.
bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine a normal sized bottle of Grey Goose, like the size of like I don't know, like a wine glass maybe, not a wine glass, a wine bowl, kind
Mm,
of that size.
yeah.
And so we bought it in a customs, and the person that we bought it from, the this person, whoever the person that's doing the scanning thing, she said, "Oh, you can't open this on the airplane." It was like,
You have to keep
"Yes,
it
we
closed.
know.
Is what she was saying.
Yes, we know. Yeah." And it's just like in a little like plastic little thing that you can rip open. So we just
Mm.
chucked in the bag,
The
yeah,
plastic seal.
yeah, plastic seal, and then we just chucked in the bag, got onto the plane, and then I took my bag down from the baggage thing, and
Mm.
then I snuck the Grey Goose bottle out, and then put it down, sort of like the little sort of thing that you put on the back of the seat. I don't know
Mm.
how to describe it. The
What
little
the eating tray?
folder thing.
What?
No, it's like where all the leaflets go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like the pouch. The
Yeah,
pouch.
that pouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we snuck it down there, and then we was just doing shots after shots after shots
Mm.
on the plane whilst the air hostesses weren't looking. So
Yeah.
for me, in the altitude, I got drunk real easy.
Mate, you get
And
drunk real easy anyway.
it was the altitude that
Yeah.
fucked me up. Okay.
Mm.
But anyway, on this airplane as well, the air hostesses, they're all Latina. And,
She was Spanish.
well, kind of the
No.
same thing. Kind of the
Mm.
same. But anyway, wow. Just imagine the most elegant beautiful air hostess you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like beautiful body, long legs, nice booty, wonderful, and
Mm.
beautiful in the face as well. And
I
we
think her
just kept,
name was Carla, wasn't it?
yeah, Carla, yeah. Hopefully she never sees this.
Yeah, Carla, if you're listening, subscribe, follow the Instagram, and show all your friends.
Hopefully you still don't have her on the Instagram.
Oh no,
Uh,
I deleted her.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah,
So people, bear in mind, this is an air hostess, someone working on the plane.
yeah.
So
So we just kept on getting her attention all the time, and
yeah,
sort of like make excuses to get her over and stuff like that.
yeah,
And yeah, she is really close to my face all the time as well. Because I was sitting on the outer aisle where sort of
yeah.
like the people walk, and Vinny was by the window. And
Mm.
yeah, she was really close to my face, like real into my comfort zone. I was like, whoa, okay, like, and and then whilst we're sort of going into New York and sort of landing and stuff like that, with about 30 minutes to spare, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move to her and
Mm.
try and like get a number, social media or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Carla, I was wondering if you got like a number, social media. I can't remember exactly what I said yet, but she said
Mm.
like, "Oh, we can't give our numbers out to passengers." I was like, oh,
Yeah.
"Okay,
So do you know what I see after? You know what I see after she says that? She walks
yeah,
into the little kitchen area at the back of the plane.
yeah,
She walks out, comes back with a napkin, puts the napkin on a little food tray in front of you, and guess
yeah,
what's on her napkin? The napkin, a bloody Instagram handle.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah."
Well, and I've got a recording of my reaction. I think I might edit it into this video, into this podcast. And I was like, oh my god, you actually moved to the air hostess.
The hottest air hostess you can imagine. Okay, the hottest air hostess ever. Like
And
most air
honestly,
hostess are quite chubby, but this one was just
nah, don't
com-
say that. No, she was just really attractive, man. She was
yeah.
really, and honestly, I've been probably catching a plane since I was 2 years old. Yeah,
Mm,
in my entire life, I've never 20 years of traveling life, whatever you want to put, however you want to put it. I've never seen anyone pull slash move to an air hostess in my life.
yeah,
So
it's
that,
kind of surreal in a way.
what's that?
So it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, it was surreal, honestly. And
Uh,
obviously, if we're on the plane going to New York and that happens, like you know it's going to be a good holiday.
yeah, so yeah, that was a fun experience. And
Mm.
honestly, Carla hit me up in it. Yeah, obviously, I want to eat your cookie. Now, joking.
Nah, man.
Can I say that on
Bro,
stream?
right, you're creating jobs for me now. I got to edit this podcast a lot now, man. Come on.
Okay. Okay. Well, fuck it. You can just put it in the YouTube video and leave it there if you want. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't care.
um, yeah, I don't.
Honestly, yeah, that was a very, very surreal holiday. And to be completely honest with you, it's not, yeah, it's the place that makes the holiday, but it's the way, basically, New York or any place you go to, you make it what you wish.
Yeah.
Like, if you go there with good vibes, positive vibes, you're very social, you know how to interact with people, you're just a good person, a positive person, you're going to have a good experience.
Yeah, like for example, you can just sit in your hotel room and go to the normal, typical sort of like places like Times Square, and that's it. But in reality, you need to go out there, experience everything, be
Mm.
social, get outside your comfort zone, and just do it.
Honestly, and social, that's the most important thing. And the thing about that holiday, I feel like that holiday made me grow as a person because
Exactly.
we literally, me and you, just the two of us, we went to another continent independently, and we literally made friends out there. We interacted with people I haven't seen in 10 years, people we've never met before, and if I could say the least, they loved us, man.
Mm.
They loved
Yeah.
us, and that's a lesson. That's an important lesson of why you should just be yourself and just go for what you want to do. Because I'm not gonna lie, this trip I've had it planned for 5 years. Like my cousin, he'd always hit me up on Facebook, like the big apple is calling. The big apple is calling. When are you coming? When are you coming? And I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, man, I was shitting bricks going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's done, and yeah, it was lovely time. So how would you compare it to the UK then? Let's
How
do
would
a
I?
top.
How would
Let's
I
do like a
compare?
top five difference to the UK, specifically London.
Okay, so I reckon. Okay, split. Okay, first of all, I'd say the first of all was the weather was perfect
It
for
was
pretty much the
it was
whole entire
it was
trip.
July, summer, beautiful
Yeah,
sort
so
of rainforesty weather.
yeah, so when we went there, it was peak summer basically,
Mm,
and for me, at first, I thought, okay, this is quite hot, but I got used to it straight away. And you can literally just walk in like jeans and like a t-shirt, a shirt,
mm,
and be perfectly fine, even when it's like 30 degrees over there.
yeah.
So the weather is just excellent in general.
Mm,
Second of all, it's just the people in general. People are a lot more friendly over there. I'm not gonna lie, you get some people that are trying to scam us and stuff like that, but because we're kind of sort of streetwise, we
yeah.
know what's up.
Yeah, we know
So
we're going out there
yeah, like there was a Sky bar, and I asked the woman,
in
I was like, "Oh,
Manhattan. Yeah.
this is in Manhattan." I was like, "Oh, how much is the entry?" And I think she said like $1,000 for an
Mm,
entry. I was like, "What? $1,000 for this entry?" And then the people that was lining up were also like in their fucking mid-50s. I was like, "Fuck, man, why would I go to that?"
yeah, honestly, I just
So
think that she just heard our British accent and just
I
thought,
thought,
yeah, bunch of
yeah,
Brits. They don't know the value of money. They don't know what they're spending. They don't know what's what. Let me try and bump them off. You know.
yeah, like $1,000 to go to a Sky bar, like she can go suck a dick. Like, honestly, that's too
Mm,
much. Um, yeah, and then I'll say, yeah. So my third positive thing was New York in general. Unlike London, where it's just in the middle of like the UK, there's sort of like one climate.
mm,
New York, you have a completely different thing going on in different areas. So like Manhattan, skyscrapers everywhere. If you go into Queens, it's like people's houses and families, and like people
mm,
generations go back from immigrants from Europe and sort of Africa coming in and the Caribbean and stuff like that.
yeah.
And then you go over to Brooklyn, where it's sort of like the equivalent of like Camden, maybe, sort of like Brixton's kind of vibe.
We're in Brooklyn.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
Brooklyn gave me a bit of a Hackney vibe.
yeah, kind of Hackney, sort of like all those sort of three boroughs in London sort of merged into one.
Mm.
Um, and then in New Jersey, when we went to New Jersey, that's sort of a bit more sort of like Hertfordshire, sort of
Yeah,
like the
Hertfordshire, especially the bit we went to, very suburban, very sort of countryside esque. You know.
the houses were beautiful. There's like what you expect in like a typical sort of like American movie,
Mm.
uh, very traditional looking.
Very
Yeah.
traditional.
But
So,
yeah, the people over there are very lovely too.
so would you rather live there than live in the UK?
I'll definitely live in New York than live in UK. I'd probably live there like during the summer periods, to be honest. And
Hmm.
I, I don't know, but like maybe sort of like going to New Jersey. and
Yeah,
live
you can get
there and
houses for
spend.
cheaper there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the home property prices in New Jersey is like a tenth of the price in New York. So
Mhm. I'd say
yeah,
my sort of the top five things I learned, whether you want to compare it to the UK or not, is obviously I've mentioned it before. Americans, they're much more friendly, much more upbeat, outgoing, and vibrant. Second of all, the people out there, they're very cultured. So I'll give you an example. When we were out there, we met a lot of obviously Italian people from Sicily, a bit like myself, but they were their great grandparents or their grandparents must have migrated there. And when I was talking to a few like Italian Americans out there, they had very little connection to Italy. Their biggest connection to Italy is probably that they eat pizza and their grandma speaks Italian. So if you was to speak to them, they identify more as American. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
yeah, a lot of those people sort of Americanified, let's
Yeah,
just say.
Americanified.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't have that sort of the same culture. It's been diluted or
mm,
um, not yeah, diluted. Sorry. Yeah.
diluted, exactly. So let's say I'll give you an example. I can only speak for my people. You meet an Italian American in America. They're literally American. Innit? You get the impression that they're American, and the Italian is minimal. But if you meet an Italian person in the UK, obviously I'm the exception because I'm third generation. But a lot of them, even including myself, a lot of them speak the language. They go to Italy on a regular basis, and yeah, they're much more in tune with their roots. So yeah, so people are Americanified there. Second point, and third point, um, I'd say that um, tips. Oh my god, I didn't realize about the tips, man. When you
Yeah.
go to a restaurant, you go to a hospitality place.
Yeah, so the tips in New York, even if you're buying like a bottle of water from a cafeteria
Mm,
or caf, um, you have to pay a tip. It's
yeah.
usually about 18%,
Mm,
roughly, and that's what most sort of waitresses and waiters live on. That's their wage, basically.
yeah, and there's a funny scenario where we were on our way to the Statue of Liberty and we off somewhere on the subway, and I was really
Hmm.
thirsty. I wanted to get like a Coke or water. And I remember we went into like a wasabi sort of restaurant,
Yeah.
and I literally just went to buy a Diet Coke, yeah,
Mm.
and we just paid for the Coke. Was it $1? I don't know how much it was. And
Yeah.
the guy working there, he gave us some dirty look as if to say, "You fucking cunts." I'm thinking, I was thinking, I can't believe the guy actually expected us to pay him a tip for a Diet Coke.
Yeah. So that was quite
Mm.
bizarre to us, to be honest.
It was quite bizarre. Even I remember we went to this Greek restaurant it wasn't even a restaurant, it was a cafe in Hell's Kitchen. That's right by
Yeah.
that's right at the bottom of Manhattan before, where you go to the boat and then it takes you to the Statue of Liberty. So this Greek restaurant in Hell's Kitchen, they literally they writ like on a sticky note, "Oh, this is all your food came to $30, but this is not including tips." Smiley face. And I'll be
Mm.
honest with you, as cruel as it sounds, I've never really paid tips, especially coming from the UK. So we just put the cost of the food there, and we just went about their day. We just went about our day without leaving any tips.
Yeah.
So that's a
They'll
bit,
probably hate us.
yeah, yeah. We should
Yeah.
have done, but not really used to that. So our point of view is why are we gonna pay more money? You know?
Yeah, in New York, I think they should have a standard basic wage for people that
Mm.
work in sort of like the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Um, they might, I don't know. But from what it sounds like, it and what we experienced, it seems like they live on
On
tips.
tips,
So
yeah. Yeah, so my fourth sort of lesson, and comparing it, contrasting it to the UK, is I feel like where we went to New York, in America in general, like you're encouraged to be yourself more because
yeah, there's a lot of self individualism.
yeah, a lot of individualism. And I'll give you an example, like the night of the silent disco. Obviously, there's videos of obviously dancing and enjoying ourselves, and I'll be honest with you, like I'm not the best dancer, but at the time, like I didn't give a shit. Like I'm myself. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna be myself. And the people that were at that party at that disco, they were coming with the same energy, and that's not even there. Like you go anywhere else, people have that sort of energy. Everyone's pretty much confident there. But
Yeah,
if you was to go to a club in the UK, obviously when lockdown gets lifted, like from past experiences, you go to a club in the UK, there's music playing, and a lot of people they're just sort of standing there in a circle. The most you probably get is they're in their head. It's almost like they're insecure, sort of dance and have a good time, you know.
yeah. The difference between sort of like the UK and New York is definitely sort of the atmosphere and sort of like the
Mm,
bars and pubs is completely different.
completely
Uh,
different.
People in New York just dance and just let their hair loose, basically.
They let their hair
Um,
loose.
People in like the UK, every single bar and club I've been to has just been people in their little set groups, maybe a few people dancing and that if it's a
Mm.
good club and that they've got good music on. But most bars is just people sitting down, having a drink or two and chilling with their friends.
And it's very segregated. Even let's say if you go to a dance floor in the UK, it's almost like people are. Obviously, I said it before. They're a bit insecure to dance and themselves, you know.
Yeah. I was just thinking about sort of that time we went to Leeds and like some of the people in there was just sort of sitting on their tables talking to themselves and then I thought, fuck it, why not just make a convo in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
So, but I don't know. Maybe that's not a UK thing. Maybe that's just a thing in our area or a thing that we've seen in London. But definitely in New York, clubs they're much more upbeat. You're encouraged to be yourself. You're encouraged to let your hair loose, you know.
hmm.
And last point before I forget, there was I remember we went to Brooklyn, yeah, on the 4th of July night,
Oh
and
my gosh, yeah.
yeah, oh my god, we went into like a club in Brooklyn. Was it? Did you say it was like a hookah bar, like a shisha bar?
Yeah, so they were serving like alcohol. It's
Mm,
kind of sort of like a bar slash hooker lounge at the same time.
mm. Yeah, so we went into there, and honestly, like the stuff I saw, and this is like mid Brooklyn. This is meant to be like I think it was in Williamsburg, but I got a bit of a ghetto, like a ghetto vibe from it, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I just remember walking into this club slash shisha bar, and then there's these like girls, yeah, like twerking, and there's the type of girl you see on World Star Hip Hop, just full up with tattoos and bullet holes, bro. You know the typical ratchet girl you see on World Star Hip Hop, tattoo and bullet holes, just twerking, and then I just walking through the club, and I'm seeing a lot of people that look like gangbangers. I'm thinking, shit, this doesn't look like my type of place, you know.
Yeah, we basically went into a bar in the hood.
Yeah, literally, we went into a bar in the hood.
Yeah, and it was yeah quite interesting.
But
And I had a funny scenario go on as well. So
in that same bar,
in that same bar, so Vinny was sitting down drinking and that, and I saw a little I can't say little girl. That sounds like a pedophile. but I saw like a beautiful woman. Yeah. In the corner of my eye, and I thought, you know what, let me go and chat over to her. And she was with a group of people. She had like a beautiful sort of like sparkly dress on and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, let me make a move. So I tapped on the back of the shoulder and I said like, hey. And then her boyfriend, I guess, or some guy, I don't know, literally stuck. Is this first of all, this bar slash hooker lounge was dark as fuck inside.
Yeah,
Okay, like,
very dark, hella dark.
you could barely see like 2 feet in front of you. So this guy, I don't know. I think he probably stuck his elbow out or like something into my stomach, and I was just like, back up. It was like hold up or some shit. And the funny thing is, the people that are surrounding the area, they're surrounding this guy, and he looked like a fat Drake. That's the best way to describe it. Imagine Drake morphed with like a you know those dogs like a you know the what's the really big dogs that have like a droopy mouth?
What, like a bloodhound?
Yeah, bloodhound.
Yeah, like a bloodhound.
The guy looked like Drake mixed with a fucking bloodhound. Okay, it was the weirdest thing in the world. And then I just backed up, and so I was like, okay, and then just sort of sat down with Vinny. I was like, let's go, you know.
Yeah, and then we went to a few other bars in that Brooklyn area, man, and I don't know, I didn't really get a good vibe from those bars, man.
Yeah, so we only went into 3 bars, including the hooker lounge.
Yeah, we went to a bashment bar as well.
Yeah, so the next one was the sort of like bashment and dancehall and stuff like that. This one was even smaller and even darker.
Yeah, it was compact. It was like the atmosphere in there, the way everyone's cramped together is literally the opposite of quarantine, man.
Yeah, it's like it was crazy in there. And I remember when we did go there, we both smoked some fucking weed and shit before we went there, and it was all right, like the vibe and that. But again, it wasn't like that good. And then we went to another one, and it was like this like 80s, 90s sort of like pop music going on, and Vinny was dancing with these like 3 girls and that, and I was chatting with some little gay guy all the time. I was like, oh my gosh, like get me out of here, yeah. And then like these girls Vinny was dancing with, no right, but yeah, it wasn't the best bar in the world.
And funny enough, yeah, like all of the girls that really, the like Latinas were nice, American girls were nice to talk to. All of the ladies out there I went past first base with that I could have got a number, or I did get a number, but all from the fucking UK.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
It was just weird. I just think it's just a thing where, we're far from home and we've got that in common.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the experience was different to you because you was just chatting to the Latinas, bruv, most of the time.
Yeah. So I got a few numbers, and there was a few girls in the beer garden on the Friday night when we did the silent disco that I was chatting to, and oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. One of them I did piss off. So I was chatting with one girl first, and I was chatting for quite a while, and I got a number. She was very cute.
Yeah.
Oi, Romeo, shush.
Carry on.
Anyway, so yeah, the first girl was very attractive, cute, lovely. Got a number, boom, done. And then she wanted to dance with a friend and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. And then the evening sort of went on, and then we was getting like more. Uh, what's the word?
Not wasted.
Yeah, basically, not wasted, but like the beer jugs in it,
What?
the beer
Beer jugs,
jugs,
beer jugs. Yeah, yeah.
the jugs of beer.
Mm.
So I was getting jugs of beer, and when I was walking with the jugs of beer, I think we got like two, and I was carrying one.
Mm.
Uh, um, this girl walked into me, and I was like, and she's like, "Oh, so sorry," and I was like, "Oh yeah, you had a pew." And then another time, we got another jug of beer. She did it again,
Mm.
and then I
Was
got
this the second
another.
one? The second one.
Yeah, this is the second go, and then
Yeah.
I got another jug of beer. She did it a third time, and I was like, "Okay, this time you're just doing it on
Yeah.
purpose." To
Funny enough, here, this one here, I'm not going to say a name, but we follow each other on Instagram, so if you're watching this, you know who you are.
yeah, hit me up if you're like if you
Yeah.
know who you are in it.
Yeah.
But she was beautiful, like, and she was like with her, I think her brother at the time, and
Mhm.
like her little sister or some shit. I don't know,
Yeah.
or like a cousin, and yeah, that was beautiful, and yeah, I got her number, but the other girl that I was chatting to at the time, at the beginning of the night, saw us chatting with that one and
Mm.
got mad at me. So
Mm.
yeah,
So who
a
got
little
mad at
bit.
you? The one that was a mother. She had a kid or something.
Oh yeah, so we found out she was a mum as well. But there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with being a mum, and that it's
No, nothing
perfectly good.
wrong.
But that's with the mums and that.
Mm.
But yeah, she was a mum, and yeah, she got a bit pissed at me for chatting with another girl and that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny night. Funny night. I know we went to a bit of a tangent, but yeah. So as I'm gonna say a conclusion. Obviously, you can say your own conclusion. So like to sort of summarize New York.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
Before we do the conclusion,
Yeah.
let's talk about um, the Indian daddy.
Oh my god. Mate, honestly, like I feel like that day in the big one was probably my favorite day of the holiday because in the day we went out to the local park to where my cousin lived. I was literally just chilling. I was taking a lot of Instagram lives on that holiday, and these.
But anyway, so yeah, the Indian daddy. The Indian daddy was a scenario that was quite interesting. So it was the end of
So
the
like
night.
start from there. I had to do something.
So at the end of the night, basically, there's closing up and saying like, "Okay, guys, you need to get out," blah blah blah,
Yeah,
etc. etc. And we came across these guys from like Austria, I think.
yeah. He's like Austria or Germany, one of the two.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we was chatting. We said like, "Oh yeah, we're from Europe as well," and they said like, "Oh yeah, we're from Austria." And
yeah.
I was behind Vinny at the time, and Vinny was sort of in front of me, sort of doing the main sort of conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, so I basically said to them with a button, I said to them, "Oh, so what bring you guys to New York?" And they were like, "Oh, we came to see our daddy." I'm like, "Oh, swear down, what? Your dad lives here, yeah?"
yeah.
And
So we was like, "Oh yeah, your dad lives here," and they was like,
mm,
"No, no, no, no." And then they pointed at some old Indian guy, waved at his face,
mate,
and on the
honestly, this guy he was pretty fat. Indian guy, he was literally, they were putting it, they're like, yes, that's our daddy. And then this guy waved at his face. He was literally sitting there, like, he was spinning, his head was spinning around in circles, bruv.
yeah. So I'd imagine old Indian guy that was bald in with a Hawaiian shirt,
With a
all
Hawaiian shirt on.
yeah, mashed out of his face.
Yeah, so
Uh,
basically, what we learned from that was that this guy flew those boys out to New York.
yeah, and there was a group of boys as well. There's like four of them.
Four of them.
We were chatting with two, and then I remember there's two behind as well. And then there's one guy um, who was like dry humping the other one. I don't know if you remember that as well.
Jesus, I think I
Yeah,
do. But
yeah. So we was just like, oh, okay. And I think they asked us like where we're like what we're doing. We were just like, I was on vacation, and
Yeah,
then we just
man.
left.
So yeah, that was a messed up experience. I just what from what I gathered was this Indian man. He flew those boys out to New York, and they're calling this guy Daddy. So I'll let the listeners make their own sort of hypothesis of what went down there. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've got a pretty good idea of what he was doing there, and that's not really something I want to discuss on the podcast. You know,
Mm,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so.
there was a lot of other scenarios and things that happened in New York that
Mm.
we can explain, but we just don't have enough time because
Right, let's do
we,
one
we,
more.
we,
One more.
okay, okay, we're
Cool.
treating them.
Yeah, we're
We're
treating
treating
them,
you
man. Yeah.
guys.
So so to conclude, um, yeah, how would you sum up your experience in like one sentence or however many sentences you want?
Uh, oh, okay. If I was you, go to New York.
Mm.
Just go there. Go explore it. Don't be afraid to go into different areas.
And then
The sub,
don't be a typical tourist.
yeah, the subway there
Mm.
is super cheap. Like it was $30 for a year ticket there.
Yeah.
Um, I think our I think our subway card literally just ran out this year
Mm.
sometime. So yeah, it lasted for, and that's the ultimate. Like you can go anywhere with the subway card. And the subways are all air conditioned. It's big. They're all on time. It's amazing, and it's very simple. If you know how to use London Underground, their subway system's so much easier. It's like child's work, you know.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, go explore, go on the buses, like see everything, speak to people. Don't matter who they look like or what they're from or who they're from or where they're from. Sorry. Um, but yeah, just go there and explore.
Yeah, man. So are you saying that the New York subway is easier or the London subway is easier?
Oh, definitely New York. It's
Yeah.
so air conditioned and actually has space inside.
Mm.
You know, you're not like tripping over people's fucking feet and legs if it's busy.
Yeah. So like my final conclusion of New York is that it was one of the best experiences of my life. It's not a typical lad's holiday. It's more of an adventurous type of holiday. And
Yeah,
if you know where you're going and you're a social person and you're not afraid to try out new things and you're not a typical tourist, you want to experience more, then you'd absolutely love it. And why I feel like the social part is important is because most Americans you'll meet are very upbeat, positive, social people. But to get the most out of a place, you got to get the most out of the people. Simple as that. So yeah, just be social, positive, upbeat, and yeah, you have the time of your life. You know.
yeah, that's a conclusion.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy. So
Mhm.
yeah,
So I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, keep watching. And we've got a lot more content where that came from. Sweet.